you know the People's Convoy is still going on? Why didn't you know? Is it because the completely fair and unbiased algorithms that dictate what you see just forgot to tell you? Well, I'm sure that's why. So it's Friday, and I felt compelled to make a video. So I made a longer version of it. I'm going to try to shorten it up. What I see going on, I started watching Alex Jones in like the late 90s when he was on cable access in Austin and listening to him on KJFK 98.9. And why do I bring that up? Well, just to make the point that like all the wild shit that he talks about that now has all come true, I've been listening to him say it for the whole fucking time, is why I bring that up. So, having said that, I really honestly feel like we are making headway in our epic attempt to get the rest of the people to realize what's going on around us, you know, by speaking in code and inferring things so the machines don't strike us down, you know, and alluding to things, and, you know, how we have to fucking talk on here. And the People's Convoy is a perfect example. The People's Convoy is like in their 70th, between I think 75th day at this point, somewhere in the 70s of consecutive days of people being organized in a large operation to go protest against things being mandated because of the state of emergency, let's say. That's the way you can say it on here. If we were over there at the gas station, I could tell you exactly what the fuck's happening, but here, you know. And so they've gone to D.C. and had a very well-organized event where they circled the Beltway, which is like the big fucking freeway around that shithole. It's like the rim of the toilet bowl. But they did it where they told the cops everything they were going to do. They all, you know, respected people. They didn't fuck shit up or cause any kind of ruckus. So, I guess that's why you didn't hear about it. And so now they're convoyed over to the West Coast, and they've been having events all the way along. And then they're planning on going back to D.C. And that got me thinking, like, man, there really are a lot of events that I hear about that are in other states or all over the country that are very openly, clearly not establishment Republican, you know, bullshit events. This is like the American Freedom Tour, the convoy events, all these different events that are specifically not Trump events, and they're specifically against the grand resetting of things, let's say. You know what I mean? They're very on the money. Like, if you were to listen to G. Edward Griffin back in the 60s up until now, all the stuff that he was telling you was going to happen has all happened, and these are the type of events that are opposed to that shit happening. And I guess that's the most accurate YouTube double think tube speak way that I could say it without saying it. So I see enough events happening where you know, I'm not going to go to fucking Kansas or something or whatever for one of these events. I did go to Conspirathon in Oklahoma City one year, a long time ago. That was cool. I was a speaker there too, actually, now that I think about it, when I was with Revere Radio Network. So shout out to Rob Revere and Revere Radio Network from back in the day. But anyway, I see enough events happening to where I feel like there's legitimate opposition, and they're like trying so hard to throw a wet blanket over it, but you still see smoke coming out from under the sides. And I guess that's what it's like when your entire country is having like military grade psychological warfare tactics utilized against the population to suppress rebellions. Because I mean, what do you think's going on? Every indicator in history of like a large change coming politically, let's say, in a country, you know, extremely high food prices, high fuel prices, massive inflation, homelessness, drug use, all the things that you would think, okay, the pot is coming to a boil, are fucking happening. But we're all just still kind of like, oh man, yeah, but like, They still got beer at the store, and you know, the lights are still on. You know, the gas station closes at 5, but at least it's still open sometimes, right? You know, it used to stay open all the time. But anyway, you guys know, you're living it. It's happening everywhere. And hell, my existence, in all honesty, I'm very much shielded from all this wild shit that's happening to the rest of y'all because of the lifestyle that I have purposely chose. You know, I live away from it. I'm not 1,000% dependent on their system for everything. And, you know, I have a job where it's literally like it's 2018 at my job as far as like how we act with each other and rules, and like nobody's had to do anything at where I work different because of the shit that happened in the year that all the things happened, that 2020. And I'm very fortunate for that. Very fortunate for that. But I still feel for everybody else that's having to, because I can't just like, you know, I still get to go home and party and drink beer and go to work and live my life and just ignore that, like, they're literally burning down civilization around us on purpose. I can't just do that. But having said that, you know, I still have much compassion for everybody that had to go through all of the psychological abuse of the masks on your kids and the not being able to go to school and being locked up in your home and like not being able to see your fucking loved ones dying and all the crazy immoral shit that if we had read in the history books would clearly obviously be the moves of an evil system. I mean, like if you were to just write down like the past month's events and then read it out loud, even if it's like a brief summary. And then the president came out and announced, you know, a government board that would decide what was or was not true. You would think you were reading about some weird fucking dystopian novel that we're clearly using as our fucking guidebook right now. But because we're living in it, they somehow have us in this stupefied, low vibrational TV watching, like, suggestible trance state of mind that was just like, oh yeah, well there's food shortages and inflation and, like, you know, openly announcing that they're gonna be accelerating the plan that's basically written on the Georgia Guidestones, and it's like it's all out in the open, but you're like literally paralyzed by whatever fucking sorcery. I don't mean that literally, but like whatever well-researched psychological warfare type behavioral science type shit that they're using to get us all to just keep going to work and allowing this to happen. Whatever is going on, it's fucking real. So anyway, it's Friday, and I feel like we're making headway. People's convoy is still going on. The fact that even I have barely heard anything about it, even though I'm someone that's interested in it, tells me like they're trying very hard to suppress all visible dissent to Klaus and them's bullshit, let's say. So, happy Friday.